Well, absolutely brilliant to hear from both partnerships. Cannot wait to get going tonight. A truly, truly special group, this. Phil Harrison gets us started. One of the all-time greats of this game. And his partnership with Lou Meyer is going to get first go at the table after that successful break. If you are new around here, this is the Ultimate Pool Mixed Pairs. We're playing English 8-ball pool to international rules. It's a super easy rule set. Pick a colour set, you pot your balls, you pot your 8-ball, and you win the frame. 4 of those will win you a match. And if needed, we will go to the match clock. There's 20 minutes beginning at each match. It counts down to 0. And if it gets to 0 and we've still not had a result to 4, we'll take the score, whatever it may be, at that stage right there. Oh, what a start from Lou Meyer. Absolutely fabulous double. It was played as a bit of a shot to nothing. I think Phil called that one quite cleverly. But Phil's known as being one of the greatest doublers of all time. And obviously he's been teaching Lou some tricks as well. That's a fabulous shot.
It is, and if Phil can drop this one in the centre, they're in line and then the finish is on. But this is tough. This is very tough in the centre pocket. He tried to do a little bit more than I thought he would, actually. I thought if he floats that in, a little bit less pace, maybe an extra 6 inches short of where he is now, he'd still be on the red to bottom right, and from there you can find the route and find the pattern, which Phil is very good at. Obviously made his name doing that. Tried to force it in a little bit more.
Here we see the Lucases, Andy and Shona. Brilliant fun they were in their interview earlier on. And I know they're really looking forward to tonight as well. Mentioned it's a race to 4 and the match clock and all the rest of it. What we haven't mentioned is the actual format of the frames themselves. The first one is Scotch doubles. That means alternate shots. We'll then have 2 frames of singles, another Scotch doubles, 2 more frames of singles, and the final deciding frame, if required, will be played to Scotch doubles as well. As Shona jaws that yellow, but second prize, Cannon didn't quite go right either in the middle of the table, and they've ended up on the top rail, which is, to be honest, a little bit of a result.
Yeah, that's come out okay for the Lucases. And I think half the battle out there is finding the dynamic of how to work together, you know, how to see the finishes, how you want to communicate. Especially in the Scotch frames. Okay. Andy and Shona are going to get second opportunity here, and it's a pretty good one. There's a yellow by the 8-ball, does go right centre, and you can get to it from there. The yellow just above the 8-ball, though, a little bit more guarded, goes top right, will go bottom left if the other one's out the way, I think. The red might not quite guard it, but it's one of those visits where the pattern and control is key. Something that Andy Lucas himself has been absolutely brilliant at for a long, long time. And he just giving the instructions to his wife. This is how I want you to play this one. Plays off the red just to open up the pocket. That's excellent control. It looks like the yellow I questioned being slightly tricky. The yellow above the red, above the 8-ball rather, does go right centre. I think it goes through the gap, which really helps, especially if Andy can play it now. It's hampered queuing, but if he plays it now and he's getting full enough contact on the red, he'll hold for the yellow to right centre that's the nearest it, and from there you're not quite out, but you're all but there. But my worry for them would be he's just catching the red a little bit too thin. Yeah, that's why he's got the grimace. I don't think he likes the shot. Coming back across with the one underneath the 8-ball, and a touch short, just a touch. Shona's going to have to pull out a big shot here. Hit this one at a nice pace, just allow the spin to grip, screw this on and off the side cushion. You've got to really hit this well. Oh, got got the cue ball side of it, but missed the pot. Shona's achieved a huge amount in the game. Won many, many titles, and with Ultimate Pool as well.
Yeah, had a fabulous year on the Women's Challenger Series this year, Shona Lucas.
But I do know, having had a chat with both of them earlier on, that she's feeling a little bit nervous ahead of tonight. Something very different playing in the mixed pairs.
Yeah, it's a different kind of pressure. You think about all the different things that come with a Monday night, there's always going to be those kind of nerves because of the format and all the rest of it. It's short, it's sharp, it's hectic, it can get crazy, it can run away from you. Things that pool players, who by their very nature often are quite perfectionist, don't tend to sit too comfy with, so that can be a little bit nerve-wracking. But also, you know, for these partnerships, some of whom know each other incredibly well, there's a real sense of not wanting to let the other one down, and that itself brings its own kind of pressure.
Exactly what Andy wanted, just to be able to hold the cue ball at the top. Well, when we were out in the arena just before play, Stephen, I did mention that the Scotch frame is everything in these matches, and even more so in the mixed. And now we're into the 6th minute of this frame. It feels huge.
Oh, doesn't it just? Well, Phil and Andy are from a very, very similar era, aren't they? They've been playing this game for just about as long as each other. But strangely, they've almost been, there's been a great big divide in English 8-ball for a many, many number of years. I can't imagine they'll have run into each other on that many occasions.
Certainly not in the last 15, 20 years,
yeah.
I would say. It's a nice shot from Shona. Left Andy a little hampered, but I think there's enough angle here. He's just got to be careful. I think he'd be getting the gap of the yellow and red. Can he pinch the pocket? He could pinch the pocket. He was okay. Lucky have more angle. That to me, anyway, perfectly set up here. Shona just needs to push through this one. Doesn't need to do too much. Like that. Hampered queuing, of course, for Andy, but that doesn't really matter. Simple enough 8-ball.
Just keep everything in line. Oh, in it goes, just. 3 men's titles, followed by a Masters and a Seniors World Championship as well.
Oh, it's dry.
All right then, Philip. He has made a bit of a habit in his Ultimate Pool career of taking out some ridiculous buzzer beaters, but that he will be absolutely sick with.
Yeah, trying to play it with pace to come off the bottom cushion and get into the problem area, but just throws a little bit wider than he was expecting. And now it's exactly where Shona and Andy would like it. Just a case of, well, kill off 40 seconds here, which is, by the time they pop their second ball, they can relax. The match will be won. We're already in a kind of time zone where they won't be enough time to clear up.
Yeah, it's hold yourself together time for the Lucases. Perfect start for them. It's not all over for Phil and Louise here. There's still plenty of opportunity for them to qualify tonight, but they will have to do it the hard way and come from behind in the group table as Andy and Shona get the job done. Loads of respect out there from 4 fabulous players. It's Andy and Shona Lucas who get their campaign off to a flyer, sealed with a kiss. As I say, lot of fun this group. Lot of fun. It's Alice Day to break us off in match number 2. Oh, cardinal sin though for Alice. It's straight in off into the corner pocket. It'll bring Chucky and Rab first to the table in frame number 1. Chucky and Rab are a really, really interesting duo. You know, Rab's a Challenger Series player, so in theory, on paper at least, he's 3rd ranked in this group in terms of ranking the men versus the men and all the rest of it. But I think as a balance, I think you can make a great case that this is a brilliant partnership on paper. They both love the big stage, they're confident and excited to be there. And Rab is known for his bottle and his prowess in the pressure situations, mainly through his exploits with the Northern Irish international team, who know they can lean on him in the big moments. And it says a lot when you've got a team that's filled with, well, the two-time world champion, a multiple-time Pro Series champion. There's some great players in that Northern Irish team, and they lean on Rab just as much as they would anybody else.
Agreed. I think the strength and depth in the pool world is one of its biggest assets, and Rab just highlights that for me.
Not there though.
I mean, yeah, we've given him the big build-up, and then he plays a loose shot there. He's trying to slide by the yellows to get on the red to the centre. So they're going to have to pull back now. Nothing changes here for me. This remains the most important frame in the match, and we'll see this on repeat throughout the night. It was an interesting decision. Chris Day's got a fabulous break. He's really been working hard on it, and decided to let Alice have the opening break, which is, I thought was an interesting one. They obviously have a plan. Chris is a deep thinker about the game, so I'm sure there was a reason why. Maybe they just felt that Alice was getting the splits, or maybe even getting the 8-ball in motion. It didn't work on this occasion, but they have got to the table.
Shots.
And these yellows are on. I think if Alice could just drop this one in, don't try and, my advice would be don't try and do too much. Now Chris is saying come twice across the table. The one to bottom right is where you want to get on the one that's furthest right on the table. That does go to bottom right. Anywhere on that, and then Chris can get in and amongst it. Yeah, just try to go without the second cushion. Left a little bit in no man's land. You can still pot it, but the control of the cue ball is getting away. Big shot, this one. Oh, just too much. Rab jumped out of his chair, didn't he? Ran to the table almost.
Yeah, we should mention actually Rab was talking about a mischief he'd done to himself. He actually fractured his toe recently, which anyone who's ever cued a ball will know that's an unideal injury to have. Pacing around the table, he's had a pretty brutal weekend of it. So lucky he went out quite early in both of his Challenge Series events, I think, to keep himself fresh. Luckily the protective boot is gone, and you can at least have the comfort of wearing some slightly softer shoes. That's the reason why Rab's in some smart trainers tonight as opposed to the preconditioned smart shoes.
Exactly one of the rules I'd change if it was if I was a man in charge. I think if you're going to ask him to run around the table, give him the chance. Oh, have some of that. Just misses the cannon.
I mean, Chucky can pot a serious ball. She's brilliant to watch.
Now, if this red drops in the centre, they're okay here, but I don't think it does. So thin clip, and then ideally half-board yellow would be perfection.
Or just too thin from Rab there. It was a really tough shot.
Didn't even get the red past the 8-ball, so it just leaves it wide open here for Chris and Alice. If the yellow by the red passes, it's probably the one you want to take here. Just play it full, cue ball into the red. It looks like Chris is suggesting stun it wider. Just careful with that. If you flick the red trying to do that, you could get the red in the way. That'll do. That'll work. Very nicely done. 2 chances, but clean them up nicely. Rab's just asking to get the cue ball out of fraction. That's a fraction too much, but it's better than being dead straight.
Doesn't have to worry a thing about the cue balls. This is just all making the pot, something that Chucky is very, very good at. A little unlucky there. Cued a great ball.
We're in the fun zone now, aren't we?
Oh yeah, the madhouse.
How does Chris win this frame? Yeah, this is tough. The loss of turn's not really an option. Don't see the aggressive play. I don't believe the red slides past the yellow. I think you've got to maybe leave the cue ball middle of the top cushion. It's just all out attack, and that's not worked. He's in trouble here. I suppose you can play the loss of turn now, and the red should block the 8 ball. So if he can just avoid the 8 ball when he plays the loss of turn, try and get the cue ball to the middle of the top cushion again. Red needs to stay where the yellow is. No, 8 ball squeezes in, doesn't it? It's not easy. It's not a big pocket if it does go. He's almost got it right. That shows you how tough it was. I actually think when Chucky hit that, I thought that was in.
Yep.
Chris just about got there with his shot, and now he has to frame to win.
Well, by hook or by crook, the Days are 2-0 in front heading into the 5-minute zone. He's had a couple of big finals, but yet to claim that first big trophy, which I know is a target. Oh, it's a great break from Alice, and you have to say it's very unlucky not to come up with the ball.
Probably why Alice had the break in the opening Scotch frame, because she's been hitting the break like that. Unfortunately, they've both gone wrong. Not entirely sure how on this one, and I was saying this was set up well for her to try and play spoiler and use the clock and keep Rab at bay, but just open the game up here. Chance for Rab to make a quick finish. Potentially wanted to get rid of or play at least one of the shots top right. Now you're going to end up playing the plant and leaving them last. I think it would have been easier if Rab could have played that second shot and then just left one up there. Okay, decided not to play the plant. As long as you can screw back here and get out without touching the other one.
He's actually played a lovely shot there.
Yeah, see how he just flicks it though?
That's okay.
Yeah. It would have been just so much easier if you just dealt with the plant early and then gone about your business, but he still gave himself a simple enough 8 ball for the reverse clearance.
Nice. Yeah, nice, says Chucky Preston. I'm inclined to agree. 2-1, rapid clearance. Look at the break from Chris here. Told he likes to mess about. That's a new thing. We've not seen that one before, I don't think.
I think he's playing around with it a little bit for a while, actually, just standing up a little bit high.
Not that high, though.
Not that high, though, no. But
he's not even bent his back. Plenty of power, and it causes extension, and shot clock and match clock are just about aligned, so has to play one shot, and this match is officially over. Well, what a start for the two married couples. The Lucases win match 1, the Days win match number 2. Fantastic stuff from Chris and Alice. They get the win over Rab and Chucky, 3 frames to 1. Perfect start for them too. For Rab and Chucky, they're back in just a moment, and it's a must-win game. Stay with us. Phil Harrison back in the house alongside Lou Meyer. Very, very friendly scenes out there in the arena. Hugs to start. But will they stay friends after this match? It's Lou to break off in frame number 1. Both of these two partnerships losing their opening match, which does mean this one is a must-win for the both of them. Lose this match, and you can no longer qualify. Win it, and you are very much still in the conversation. Really well in the first match, did Lou Meyer. That is not her best, though. Lost the cue ball a little bit on that cut break. You can see how it slides down the pack. Just means she caught it a little thin rather than flush. Just limits the power a touch.
Still a nice layout, though, isn't it?
It's
nice
a really
split.
good split, yeah. Just going to bring Rab and Chucky to the table first.
They would love an opening yellow. I don't think there is one. Unless they fancy queuing this one long straight one in. This is a tester.
Oh, isn't it just? Feels like a big pocket, though. Not that big.
Yeah, that was a challenge. How about that? After the mistake he made at the back end of the last match, for that to be your first shot. Very tough there for Rab. Looks like Chucky's still enjoying it out there, having some fun with Rab. Open things up here.
Well, I bet she's probably telling you I'd have made that.
I believe her.
I do.
To be fair, she had the chance. I mean, that was first shot for the partnership. They could have gone in either order.
Phil, one of the all-time greats of the game, and the reason why he's so revered and respected and successful is his pattern play and the way that he sees the game. There are few better to have ever played, and I think there's an awful lot of people who would love to trade seats with Lou Meyer tonight. Can you imagine?
I mean, it must be fun being perfect on every ball. No, he does. He has great patterns, but he has great touch and control as well. And there are times when, you know, he plays patterns in such a way where you do need that touch and control, but he's so good with it. Just a little straight here. That's why we get the grimace from Phil. Love to have had an angle to get across the table.
That's a proper Phil Harrison grimace as well. I did joke with him earlier on. I said, if Lou's out of position, Phil, you're still going to shake your head as much. Absolutely notorious is Phil Harrison for being such a perfectionist. No one gives themselves more hammer out on the table or in the arena than Phil Harrison. And usually when that happens, he's pretty much ball in hand perfect. It's one of those sort of unique mannerisms.
8 ball's your friend here. Just screw into the 8 ball.
Just went past it. Has she got the gap?
I think so. I do think so, but actually like this, Phil. This is big shot required. Definitely got the double, which is incredibly tough. I think Phil can get to the potting angle. Oh, he can't. He might not even have the double.
Oh, he did. Oh, he did. Oh, it's so sick. That is an unbelievable shot he's just made. and to go in off is cruel. What a shot that is. Oh, would you like it?
Yeah, that feels tough. That feels very tough. All the traffic out the way for Rab and Chucky now, just to run through these nice and smoothly. Chucky left Rab too straight. Rab's trying to get himself out and left it welded on the top cushion.
I'm loving these two's dynamic because Rab's obviously he couldn't get anything going there, so the cue ball stayed right at the top of the table, and Rab's just gone as to what to play next, and Chucky's just echoed him. He's completely said the same thing. They're having some real fun out there. They're giving each other some absolute pelters. They've elected to let Phil and Lou see this 8-ball. Can they get it moving towards a pocket?
Well, she's lining this up like it goes. Surely it can't with a shot that's been played there.
It might do.
No. That must have been incredibly tight. I mean, maybe that's the shot that they discussed to play. Is just let's just get the 8-ball in front of the red, top right. That can't have gone. There's just no way. They would not a chance would Chucky have played that shot if it did. So I was expecting to see some sort of double. Normally you kind of go all out to try and manufacture something, but it might be a really interesting decision here from Lou and Phil, just to say let's get the 8-ball in front of the red, which she's done really well, by the way, because it kind of really makes it a bit awkward up there, and see if they've got the goods to get the clearance with a short position.
This is the shot.
There's a lot of angle here, so I don't believe they can play short position. Probably going to have to play off the top cushion into it.
Oh, no!
Yeah, that's what I said, had to be off the top cushion. Yeah, I agree. I'd rather be reds right now.
Can if Chucky's going, this needs to be an all-star pot. Oh, what an effort. Unlucky.
Now what does Phil do?
That was a fully blooded attempt to go there because you were perfect on the yellow to screw into the two above it.
I think Phil has an angle. He could go into the yellow and red now. Not guaranteed to be on anything though.
He'll take it. He's got some work to do. He may leave the 8 as a double. I don't think it passes the yellow. He's just come round to have a look at it.
He can play into it again, but you'd be going into it probably from the red near right centre, therefore, well actually he might have an angle to go into it now, you know. I think he's got just enough. No, decided not to, so that tells us he's probably happy enough to play on it. Might just about, you know.
It probably squeezes in, but
it's one of those that...
these newer tables, that's not a comfy one.
Double would be the play.
I think if you feel embarrassed, you back yourself on the double, do you know what I mean?
Well, no, he's playing into it now. I'm really surprised he didn't play into it second shot, because he had the angle.
Don't knock it in.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Judged that well.
Yeah, wanted to go into it with control, I suppose, rather than going into it from, you know, which would have needed more pace from the one in the middle of the table.
I feared there he was going to do an half-hand dad.
Yeah. Would have been similar.
Oh, cue ball. Cue ball. I think it's just held up in time.
Yeah.
I think he can make this. It's not where he wants it to be.
Yeah, don't get fooled by the body language.
Surely he can make this cushion first.
I mean, it's so comfortable off the left-hand side. I don't think there's any real worry here.
Yeah. And it goes. Shake of the head from Phil the Farmer Harrison. That's the Phil we know and love. But he's out. And the second frame on the board. And now he can smile. I'd really love it if Lou was just giving him a bit of stick there for his cue ball control.
And both these pairs lost the opening match. A draw keeps them in it, but then the only way you can qualify is via a 4-way 6-red shootout. So really need to win. I think Rab probably needs to chase a finish next visit or the one after.
Tried to shave the red on the way to try and make that yellow, and you just missed it. So here's your chance, Rab. These really have to go. Eight ball, he has options. He can leave it as a double, or he can use the one that's... In fact, I think that's, yeah, it's much easier into the centre pocket than I was first looking at, actually.
Yeah, it's just a tap in. So
yeah.
it's actually the yellow in the triangle area that they've just got to... He's just got to land on. Easy to get it actually on nicely.
Yeah, it just needs to
play
land
for it
almost where the 8 ball is, unless you come underneath it and go high.
Just play for it top left corner. Just don't try and do too much. Just pull it back 6 inches. Yeah. Just don't overcomplicate the game at times. It's just,
yeah, it's a nice shot. Yeah, well played. The 8 ball is waiting. Yes, it's happening. Cool. That a fair whack.
yeah, that should be that. There are 2 clean pots on the underneath, make 1, and they've won the match. Very tight, tense again though, isn't it?
Oh, it has been. It has been all tournament in truth. The 2 prelim groups had plenty of matches like this, which went down to the wire.
Well played,
And Rab offers his hand. Phil Harrison happy to take it. That one was close. But it's Phil Harrison and Lumar who get over the line. A 2-1 victory, and they stay alive in the mixed pairs. Welcome back to the Ultimate Pool Mixed Pairs. And this is a match I'm hugely looking forward to. The battle of the married couples, the Lucases versus the Days. A little bit of Ultimate Pool history in the making as well. Fantastic break here from Chris Day. Look at this. That back is not even barely bent. And yeah, he's been in the lab and worked on that. I must admit, I'm not 100% sold on it, but he's obviously happy with it for the time being.
Yeah, I question how consistent you can be breaking like that. Hard to control, hard to get it right every time, but I guess it's how he feels he can get more power.
Well, the thing is knowing Chris, the reason why he'll be doing that is to be more consistent with it. I'll have to pick his brain about it at some point.
First shot goes wrong though for Alice. The yellows were tough. There was one to break out, and Alice was trying to drop that one in bottom right corner to leave the angle to let Chris play the breakout next, which has happened, but unfortunately it'll be Andy or Shona playing the breakout shot. It'll be Andy. Doesn't need to do much more than that. Now all the yellows have pockets.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot.
Yeah. You'd love to clear the 3 at the bottom and then go up. You wouldn't want to take 2 and then go up. You're going to want to do all 3, but you don't want your transition to be on the one that's sort of nearest the cushion away from the pocket. So. Bit of a stretch that one for Shona, so I think that might be why change of plan here, coming across the other way. Need to leave angle.
Naz.
Is it enough? An extra turn might have made it easier. Let's see. Yeah, an extra turn of angle would have been easier. If Shona had hit the cue ball and it travelled an extra 2 rolls, Andy can naturally play it rather than having to punch it and force an angle, and then obviously that makes the pot harder.
Reds, now that several yellows are out the way, look pretty good now.
All of a sudden, the Reds look good. It's just where do they go when they flick the yellow here? I think dead weight works. Just fall into the yellow. You're going to leave a red on right centre or straight red top right corner, and then work it out from there. I suppose that was about as dead weight as you could. The red only just reached. The red the cue ball's nearest to now, unless CD wants to take it now, that red's actually a problem ball. Chris tried to deal with the fact that ball's a bit awkward, and it's opened it up, but it's just really awkward from where he's left Alice. Cue ball.
It's a little unlucky from Alice, honestly. It's a lovely pot.
Once again, this Scotch frame is everything, isn't it? Once again, it feels massive.
It certainly does now.
The one thing worth pointing out when Chris played the shot to open up the red is that he has put the yellow onto a really awkward spot on the cushion. So even if he was to not pull out a bit of magic here, it's not an absolute guaranteed out for Andy and Shona. So they'll have some hope. I think that's why he didn't try and do too much there. I think he was thinking about kicking at it. But if he kicks at it, there's no guarantee it works, and he could open up that yellow. So just trying to keep it a little bit tight and hope for another opportunity.
Yeah, they're both sole attention is focused on this yellow. You can see why.
Don't go in off. Don't go in off.
He's fine.
Nicely controlled in the end.
It's a really good shot.
Yep.
Because what can you do from here really on reds? Not much. Don't think there's a double to the middle. There might be. Might just slide past.
Don't know that. I think it does slide past. I just don't think they can get to the angle for it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, the yellow might be. Yes, I see. Yeah. Don't think the treble's available, which might be easier. I think you can see the red full ball, but yeah.
Oh, that's the worst possible case scenario for Alice.
But look where the red's gone, making the yellow really awkward at the top.
Cue ball in hand makes it a bit more possible to play with.
Yeah, you can just get to the potting angle, but well, maybe you can't. Andy's going to play into it. I think, Andy, you've got to play that one at the top. You can definitely get in there and play it. Well, all worked out nicely. Nice shot that from Andy.
There we see 3 days, not just the two at the table. Tortorini's also cheering them on tonight as well.
Andy played a bump on the red just to open up the path for the 8 ball, make it a little bit easier. Not shown a shot, rather. Just make sure you get it if you try to. Yeah. Nicely done. You always get a bit nervous when you're playing those sort of cannons. You get it slightly wrong, cause a mess, and especially when they're not really necessary.
It's a lovely little out this from Team Lucas. And this first frame has taken the better part of 8.5 minutes. But it is the Lucases who lead the days.
Break clearance isn't absolutely essential. Obviously, winning the frame pretty much is. But
that is a mad break. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, he's obviously getting more power that way. I just can't see how he can be consistent with the control.
I love it though. I love anything unique, and that is certainly a unique way of going about it.
He's not afraid to try to be unique, is he?
No, he's always been an experimenter and an innovator. Never afraid. It's a very good shot.
The only thing I'll say is obviously yellow left centre looks like the perfect last ball, but you're not guaranteed to get straight in on it, so then it becomes not necessarily the perfect last ball. So does he use that to connect to the one at the top of the table, in which case then he has to find a good line down towards the 8 ball?
Or does he maybe go sort of right through the gap in the middle?
Yeah, but then you've got to come down. I mean, you might have to use the bottom cushion twice in terms of for this shot and the one at the top of the table. It's fine as long as you can get straight enough that all you're doing is dropping it in.
Yeah, and I think he can do that. I think it's a lovely shot. Wants to be as close to the reds as he dares, basically.
I actually think there is a little bit more room to get. I mean, you've got margin, about 3/4 ball, you're still fine, and he can easily get there. Yeah, that's fine.
Bolts on the thick side of the pocket. Cue ball naturally just trundles towards the 8 ball. And this is a super break and run from Chris Day.
Get to see the CD break again. Needs a golden break this time, really. And he does not, so it has to be ultra quick.
And he's got this sort of finish in him. 49 seconds and ticking.
I think if he gets straight in on the plant, he'd be happy, but he's a bit short of that. Makes this shot a bit harder.
Well, he can get out here. The issue is he'll be right tight on time, and it's the Lucas break next.
Yeah, it'll be Shona to break, won't it?
So really only a golden duck can stop Shona and Andy from winning this one.
I don't think he can stop the cue ball quick enough here. No, definitely
Well, he can. But in the centre pocket it goes, so that will ice the match, and Andy Lucas and Shona Lucas are absolutely flying here. 2 wins from 2. They are on the verge of qualification into the next round of the mixed pairs. As for CD and AD, work to do next. Welcome back, everybody. It's the mixed pairs live for you with Ultimate Pool. An absolutely brilliant night so far. It's been a lot of fun. Alice Day breaks off. It's an absolute cracker and is stone dry. How do you like that? It's tough out there.
Still all to play for as well. Yes, Andy and Shona are in the driving seat now, but winner of this match puts the pressure on. Phil's not sure here. He's worried about where the yellow goes when he plays this shot. 2 reds together. He doesn't want to put the yellow in between them and cause problems there. Not sure if he was playing a little cannon into the yellow to hold on the red with a better angle or not. Now that red at the top is actually awkward to get to.
Important to remember that both of these 2 partnerships can still qualify. Win this match and hope that their Northern Irish friends can do them a favour in the final match of the night. And that feels pretty possible, in truth, for as good as Andy and Shona have been, and they've been great. They've been involved in 2 pretty close matches that have been on the edge, and so have Rab and Chucky that they've fallen on the other side of. Feels like a pretty even game, that one.
Yeah, and all the pressure's one-sided as well. It's we've seen it many, many times. Obviously similar formats in the Champions League and the Pairs Cup. That final match, when all you've got to do is avoid defeat, is a tough one. The important thing is that for the 2 pairs out there now, they find a way to win this one and give themselves a chance. Of course, if this one finishes as a draw, Shona and Andy are already through. And it'll just be a lap of honour at the end. Pretty sure the yellow at the top by the red doesn't go. Chris trying to develop it with his first shot. She's got a little bit too much side on. And they're sort of chasing a bad finish here.
Yeah, important for Chris and Alice, who obviously just come off the back of a defeat, that they really do keep their chins up, really, because this is very much still alive for them. A win here and you've got genuine hope that Rab and Chucky can do something in the final match.
Yeah, go and have a little practice at the 6th red, get yourself mentally prepared for what may happen. That was a pretty good shot. Hasn't really left Phil much to go at. So much so, it looks like Phil's just going to play the containing shot himself. But the other thing that Alice did with that shot just opens up the yellow as well. Also a good shot from Phil, as long as that's not touching ball. Chris is in a little bit of trouble here. If it was touching ball, he could just play the red, get the cue ball onto the top cushion, get the red out the way. Couldn't really play anything other than leaving a chance on. In the end, it was a case of don't foul. I said at the beginning of the night, I'll stand by it, the opening Scotch frame is huge in the mixed. The team that has won the opening Scotch frame has won every single match so far. Two at the top of the table, one in the middle connects to the one at the bottom.
Just pot it gently.
Just pot it gently.
Left Phil a shade more angle than he wanted. He'd love to have been off the cushion, and then you could just stun down behind the red in the middle of the table. Now he just has to control it on and off and not leave. Oh, use a bad angle. I would say that is almost perfect. Slightly wrong there. Oh, he's putting pressure onto Phil. Does this red drop in the centre? If not, what options does he have? Awkward double, maybe. Yeah, well, the look to the sky tells us he doesn't think this is on.
Yeah.
From the cameras we have here in the commentary box, it looks like it's a chance. No, he's gone for the corner, so obviously wasn't. Talked about his doubling prowess earlier on. He's very, very good.
Can't get that one to go though, and chance for the days.
And they're choosing to be patient.
I don't mind that. They know how big this frame is. Make sure.
Would have been nice to have the yellow go an extra 2 rolls, get a little bit closer to the right centre pocket. Being picky, but can be a factor. See the red, I don't think they've left the potting angle. There they have it.
Shots.
Good stuff from Chris.
Ooh, it needed to go.
Trying to
Needed to go.
Alice was trying to come across the table for the one on the right hand side as well. Ended up missing it on the straight, so hasn't come across as far as possible. Sometimes in those situations you miss it the other way around. Missed it too straight.
And it will be a big, big miss in the context of this match. Sadly for Alice. Out the pocket from Lou Meyer. And they take the all-important first frame.
Would be Chris with a chance in frame 2. He's got to make sure and win this one. He'd like to win it quickly. I think the thing you have to factor in here, if you're Chris, and you're kind of thinking things through, you've got to win this one quickly, and then you know that Alice is going up against Phil. So unless, you know, all things being equal, you know, Phil's going to be favourite for that frame. Let's take nothing away from Alice. She could certainly pull off the frame, but what I'm thinking is he needs to have enough time on the clock to try and win the second Scotch frame and have the opportunity to potentially win his next individual frame. So it's really important to get this one done. Of course, if he wins this frame and Alice beats Phil, then they're just in the perfect spot, but he has to kind of plan for the latter, or the former I should say.
Yeah.
He is in prime position, he should clear up here, so he will do what's required. He's going to do it quickly, leave 8 minutes just under by the time the next frame is broken off. Very good that from Chris. He's played well tonight, has he? Certainly in his individual frames, he's played some good stuff.
Yeah, he has.
What a break that is.
It's a fantastic break. And you can't believe it's dry.
That's tough. That is tough.
Yes, I can tell you his ranking will move up as the season has just concluded. He will be moved up 27. He'll be
Still
having to reflect that good year.
Inside the 32, but probably disappointed he hasn't quite got up to the 16. One more ranking event left before the season is out. Pro Cup in a couple of weeks. Pretty sure he would have had a top 16 target at the beginning of the year.
far from an easy finish for Phil Harrison here. There's a little bit of work to do, but he's in good position for it. Just one of those finishes where it's just got to be really mindful, because it can go wrong at quite a few little junctures.
Feels like he's going to have to play a really good positional shot from his final red to the 8-ball. The thing is, the 8-ball's in a really good spot. You don't need to get too good on it. The way this is played out, it's going to be the red top right, one nearest the top cushion, that's his final ball. So he shouldn't have any issues, really. If he leaves it straight, it wouldn't be ideal. It means he has to leave distance. But if he can get the cue ball to the top cushion, he can come on and off the right-hand side and just track the diagonal of the table, track towards the 8-ball. And even if he had to leave huge distance, it would be a major surprise to not see him make the 8-ball. Always want to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, and there are a few bigger perfectionists in this game than Phil Harrison.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've seen him on multiple occasions take out a great finish. He sat in his chair shaking his head, devastated that he was slightly out of position on one shot.
Looks pretty perfect to me. Yeah, just a touch of running side and behind the 8-ball nicely. I either want a great layout or a horrible layout.
Yeah, no in between.
No in between, and they'll take that. You know, I know it's dry, but that's not a good layout in terms of looking for a good finish here.
Yeah, there's serious work to do. Past that red, couldn't quite.
No. No. Yeah.
Oh, what a shot that is from Chris. Little bit unfortunate. If they'd landed on the yellow at the top of the table, there was a real genuine chance to get out pretty quickly from there. That was pretty special.
Yeah, great effort.
Now they just have to hope to get another opportunity. They will have the next break for the day, so it would be Chris with the individual frame. So if they can win it with only a second left, they'd still have a chance to win it. But right now, it's very much in Phil and Louise's hands, this frame and this match. 2 minutes 35 to kill. And that's okay. Phil will be more than happy with the way that's panned out. Probably prefer that than it going in. It wouldn't even shock me if Phil played that.
It's not going to stop Chris going, though.
Oh, it has to. It just has to. But how do you break the ball at the top up?
It's a great question. I hope to find an answer. Can Alice find the answer? It's a great effort. He's got some serious cue power, hasn't he?
I'm telling you, if he makes that combination, it's the best shot I've ever seen. I mean, I know exactly what he's trying to do,
Yeah.
and that's a 1 in 1,000. Probably not even that.
No, more than that,
That
for
was
sure.
ridiculous effort.
You could be there all day trying to make that.
Yeah.
He does have one of the best shots I've ever seen on the Ultimate Pool Tour, does Chris Day. Played at the Players Championship. Well, maybe 2022, might have been last year. Was so special. He's really got that in his arsenal. There's few players on the tour who have his cue power. Really does get so much into it.
Well, one more. Just play this one on the beeps. Probably need to pop the next one, and that would be that. Yeah, it would, if you miss this next one and you're leaving 15 seconds, it probably is job done.
Yeah, and the team most disappointed by this result is Andy and Shona Lucas, because if this frame had gone the way it could have and the Days won it, it'd have been a draw. Andy and Shona would have automatically qualified. Phil jogging around the table. He really doesn't need to.
Has to play a shot though. If he doesn't attempt a shot,
Yeah,
it'd be loss of frame. So has to just get down and play a shot.
Yeah, plays the shot and the match is over. Phil Harrison and Louise Meyer are the team that are in contention to take down the Lucases. Great job from them. Great job from the Days as well. Really enjoyed having Alice and Chris, and indeed Day Jr. with us this evening as well. Here we go then. Andy and Shona Lucas are primed and ready to top the group and be the first qualifiers through to finals night in the 2024 Ultimate Pool Mixed Pairs. And that is the break of the night from Andy Lucas. This is a cracker.
He has such a good cut break on him, he really does. And he's got the 8-ball moving, and he's given himself and Shona a great chance. They'll go close here. Shona's looking up the table. I think this is a stretch, and she doesn't want to play with the rest. That's the challenge here on this shot. And it's not just the rest, it's the spider. If you can get this shot right, the rest can be absolutely plain sailing. Need to avoid the red at the bottom of the table, or if you catch it, make sure you can see yellow left center. It was tough. That was the problem with that one. And what it means is that Rab and Chucky have a great chance to win this opening frame. Reason not to get out here. You've talked about it all night long. That opening Scotch frame, it's played so big all night. The only difference here, if they do clear up here, it will be the first time we will have seen a quick clearance in the opening frame, and therefore a lot more time left in the match, which is obviously to Shona and Andy's liking. Very good.
Well, that wasn't played as an attacking shot.
No, it's a good leave. Not left Andy anything on.
It was all cue ball. Andy trying to mess things up a little. He has achieved that, but he has made his red a little dodgy too. 12 and a bit minutes and ticking.
Perhaps asking to get the red down on the middle of the bottom cushion. Clip this in and kill a red while making a pot. Then you can get to work with a little bit more freedom. Didn't quite get the red as far down the table as would have killed it, but chance to go. Not an easy one,
It really does help though when you've got someone like Chucky who's a bit of a gun potter, who can just sort of take on some. There's a couple of options here where she could maybe go up the table where you wouldn't usually advise it. On a finish like this,
Good shot. Good shot.
there's options. It's a nice shot, but the yellow she's closest to now is her big problem ball. She's just looking to see if she can play it top right. She needs to play that in a couple of shots' time. That's what I mean, she can rely on her potting a little bit, just get herself on it.
I think there is enough room to get onto it bottom left. If you can get up somewhere near the yellow left centre, would have been, but overdone it. Although the cue ball staying on the table, and he's in a tough spot. His best chance to clear up with his first one, and he's
got steadily worse, hasn't
yeah.
he?
Reaching a halfway point in this match.
Oh, she can pot a serious ball.
And that is plumb. That's one of the shots of the night. That really
shots
is.
of the tournament. What an absolute cracker from Chucky Preston. Rocket.
Look where this has landed. It looks like there's enough room to drop on the yellow. The fact that Rab's looking really closely tells us that he probably can't get to it. I thought you could just go through a couple of rolls and be able to play it fairly natural. I would suggest, I know there's a long way to go in terms of over 9 minutes, but Chucky can pop this and get the 8 ball. I would say we're going to the 6 red.
Great shot. Great shot, Chucky.
What an 8. What a yellow that is.
What a great out this is. What a great out this will be.
That is fabulous from Chucky Preston. What a finish. Big break. Oh, and they get a chance. They get a chance to stay alive.
He really does have a huge break, does Rab. I mean, he's hit that one with tons of side as well, but hitting it with side, but squaring up that front ball. Power's just all driven through the pack. No good. And it's a chance now, Chucky and Rab, to wrap this one up.
This might ice it. This is really on to do just that. And you did get a sense that Chucky and Rab were due a little bit of run. Too good a pairing not to show up at some point. It's a good shot. Oh, we're going the distance.
Yeah, we really are. Should have taken the other one. Should have taken the higher one of the two, but I don't think it's going to really matter.
No,
It just means,
good.
yeah, it just means you're tracking away from this one. But loads of angle is absolutely fine where they've got to go. So no problems the way they went, to be honest. Yeah, I'll go in the distance.
Well, Phil Harrison and Louise Meyer are on their way back into the arena. Andy Lucas and Shona Lucas need to stay right where they are. They've still got some more action tonight. Rab and Chucky Preston end on a high in the mixed pairs with a super performance, a 4-0 win over the joint top of the group, Mr. and Mrs. Lucas. But they will stay right where they are because it's time for a 6-red shootout. Nothing to separate them. Both finished the night on a record of 2 wins and 1 defeat. Phil Harrison and Louise Meyer will make their way back into the arena, and it will be a 6-red shootout to decide who qualifies. Andy Lucas to break, Shona Lucas ready to take the next shot. It's a perfect break and they can get to work.
And Andy did hit it a little bit firmer. That's the sort of pace I like. Top right. You can set a good time here. That's brilliant.
It's a lovely shot from Shona.
Shona needs to run around the table. Got to be in position. Oh no.
Got a bit of adrenaline into that one. She's asked a little bit of her fella here. Sets it up for one last shot for Shona Lucas to wrap it up. In it goes. It's around about the 32-second mark. Unofficial time. And we'll see if that is beaten. If they make these 6 red balls quicker than 32.2 seconds. So that's lovely break from Phil Harrison.
That was an excellent break. Should have gone bottom left corner there because you can stop the white dead. And now there's a wasted shot. This is tight.
Yeah, this is right in play, isn't it?
Yeah, drop this in and then it's stop, stop. But if you miss, now you're in trouble.
It's also not straight. This is very, very close. It's still on. It's very close. It needs to stop. It's just over. I think Andy and Shona Lucas have done it.
I'll be honest. I think Phil and Louise have got this.
It's so close.
It's so close. Obviously, they're going to have to check for the foul because he had to wait for the ball to stop moving. I've got to be honest. My gut feel is they've just got it.
33:20 is the official time. Andy and Shona Lucas have done it. It was razor close, but they have got the job done. And Andy and Shona Lucas are heading to finals night in the Ultimate Pool Mixed Pairs. What a performance it was. And they are absolutely delighted with that. We'll hear from them in just a moment when we return with the Ultimate Pool Mixed Pairs.